Hey everyone, and welcome to Screams After Midnight TV Edition. I am Peter, that is Tim, and we are not working our way through Tales from the Crypt. We are finishing Tales from the Crypt today with the final ever episode, Season 7, Episode 13. It's called The Third Peg.
Oh, pig. Okay.
What'd you think I said?
I thought you said peg. I was like,
All right.
that doesn't make sense.
Peg. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I have an accent, Tim. The third peg. P-I-G. Peg.
Wait, you think I would have rubbed off on you, but by now.
The third pig. That better?
Pig.
Pig. Little pig. Little pig.
Make you squeal like a piggy.
Well, that's went off the rails quicker than I could have ever anticipated. So this is the final episode of Tales from the Crypt. Full spoilers for it, obviously. It is an animated episode for some reason. I'm going to guess it was meant to be like a backdoor pilot for like a new version of the show, or like this is what season 8 will be if we get picked up. Or
I guess I have no idea.
So it's Three Little Pigs.
What do you know what year this was? Would this have been 97? 6?
96, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, 'cause I'm just wondering maybe if I don't know if this was like the height of like Ren and Stimpy kind of fandom, if like people were starting to be like, oh, like people seem to really like these kind of maybe grosser, more adult cartoons and stuff like Beavis and Butthead and shit, that they were like, oh, maybe do something with that. I don't know.
I was never grabbed by those. Admittedly, maybe I was just too young when they were big. But
yeah, I mean, it was right in my wheelhouse when I was growing up. Like I was the prime candidate for like the the Snick generation with like your Ren and Stimpy's, your Rocko Modern Life, and kind of gradually going to like Simpsons and Beavis and Butthead and stuff from there. But do you? No, I don't. Well, I don't know if we talk about that this much kind of stuff. But like, are you a cartoon guy in general? Like, did you like a lot of cartoons growing up? Because I know you're like a Power Rangers guy, but
no, I like cartoons growing up. It wasn't almost everything you mentioned there. I didn't watch though. I mean, obviously I saw The Simpsons, but no, I used to watch like it was older stuff actually. It was like Scooby Doo and like Wacky Races, Tom and Jerry, that kind of stuff growing up. I liked Pinky and the Brain, some of the Warner stuff. Yeah.
It is kind of like when you're growing up, it's kind of a hodgepodge. It's just like whatever's on. So you do get like I guess that doesn't really happen nowadays. Like, I mean, people might stumble across stuff like streaming, but I feel like people just aren't going to randomly, like find like an old Warner Brothers cartoon or something.
Yeah. At least if they do it, they're seeking it out because they've got a taste for animation and they actually actively look into the history of animation and they're finding stuff now. Or they have parents who are like, hey, I like this, you watch it. Kind of thing. I feel like that's how a lot of things get passed on now because finding things on TV channels just isn't the same thing it used to be.
Yeah.
When we were youngins, because we're getting old now, Timmy.
Oh, definitely. Sometimes I do miss watching live TV, but
this is going to date when we recorded this because I'm behind in putting these up. But it's my birthday tomorrow, so just keep that in perspective when we're talking about age here.
You hit the big 4-0.
I think you'll find it's 3-0 tomorrow, Tim, not 4-0.
Oh my god. Yikes, we gotta do something about that. All right.
I think I mean, obviously the hairline's not what it used to be, but I've somehow avoided the grey hairs for the most part. There's been no grey hairs as of yet. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really have much to to pride myself on, but I'm pretty sure as I age that I'm gonna still have a luxurious head of hair.
Oh sure, yeah.
Because like all my like grandparents on both sides still have like nice flowing locks of gray on them. But
turns out my hair comes from my mother's side of the family because all the men on my dad's side of the family, Phil has a hair the whole life. Mother's side of the family, they have exactly this.
your mom's got like a Furiosa thing going on. Just completely
the men on my mother's side of the family, because I think one of the false things that a young guy can think is that everyone on my dad's side of the family's got hair. What happened to me? No, your mother's side of the family is just as valid in this discussion. Like, it might come from her side. So I'm not concerned about losing any more, because they all have this exact hair. But like, this is the hand I was dealt, and that's the way I must.
I'd say accept. You go like full Vin Diesel, try to.
Yeah, I should shave my head.
Shave the whole thing going on. Yeah. That's actually what my dad does. I can't even remember what my dad looks like with hair, because he started shaving like just his whole head like very early on. So I can't, like, sometimes I look at old photos, I'm like, oh Jesus, I forgot my dad has hair.
I don't know, I feel weird not having some.
That's true. Yeah.
If it happens natural, then whatever, I'll deal with it. But like, I tried shaving it off once, and I was just, this feels weird. I don't like the shape of my head. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. Yeah. I've toyed with just completely shaving it before. I'd be interested to see what it looks like, but I'm always worried that, I don't know, I have like some weird thing on my head that I like wasn't aware of.
Also, you're worried you'll be mistaken for a skinhead, you know?
That's true. Yeah.
There's also that problem, because we're white, so, you know.
Definitely.
Yeah. So clearly we are so interested to talk about this episode of Tales from the Crypt that we've spent 5 minutes talking about everything but. So it's Three Little Piggies, but with, you know, a Tales from the Crypt twist. I guess the one advantage of this episode is that the Crypt Keeper gets to narrate a bit more of the story than normally.
Yeah, that's nice.
I mean, I guess that's the one positive. But it's Three Little Piggies with a bit more of an adult twist to it. And then after the two shitty piggies get killed by the wolf, who's voiced by Bobcat Goldthwait, who I recognized immediately. That voice is, you know, like iconic. You know that voice. You hear it. It's very specific.
Yeah, returning to the show, because I know we've had him on at least one other episode before.
Oh yeah, that was like season 2 or 3. That was
with Don Rickles.
Yeah, the puppet one. Yeah. So. So he kills 2 of the pigs, and then the third pig is blamed for it. They don't believe that it was a wolf, and he goes to court. He's sentenced for the crime, and the 2 ghosts of his brothers show up, the other pigs, and they convince him to build a Franken pig monster to take revenge out on the wolf. But of course, the wolf gets the last laugh, comes out of the Franken pig's stomach or whatever, and eats the final pig. So it's got a kind of evil ending to it. Did you enjoy the third pig, Tim?
No, not at all. Man, what a bummer that this is, you know, a show that I still have fond memories of, even though, you know, going through it, you know, there's a lot of bad episodes, but I still like the show. And then, oh man, this is just a whimper of an ending. I was actually excited last week when you told me, like, oh no, this episode's going to be animated, because I do like, you know, animation quite a bit. But the animation is awful. It's, you know, very poorly done, which I mean, it makes sense. I mean, you know, if you're not a full-on cartoon show, you're probably not spending a lot of money on animation. But you know, it's very jerky. You know, I don't think the drawings look very well. Again, it just feels like it's trying to, be like a Ren and Stimpy type show where it's, you know, trying to be gross out, but then also being like a little more adult. But it's just so like, you know, when something is trying too hard to be adult, it's just like it
actually feels more juvenile as a result.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, like this is like would seem like it was written by a you know, like 13, 14-year-old or something.
Who thought
like,
it was being edgy, like, oh, I'm so edgy, I'm going to put this in my cartoon.
And it's weird because once it gets to like the court stuff, it does seem like there is maybe some type of message here about like profiling and stuff, because like, you know, all the judge and the jury and like everyone is a wolf, and they're like, you know, blaming this pig who is obviously very innocent. So it does seem like there is some type of allegory to, you know, like when a crime happens, like to a, you know, like a black man gets blamed, and it's just like all these white people or something, you know, like pointing their fingers at him, like. But then it seems like such a weird thing to, like, I don't know if they're trying to do that purposefully, but it does seem like a weird message in this very, very dumb cartoon.
I do question if it's an intended message that has anything to do with, like...
Yeah, it might be like...
It feels like it's... Into it. In this episode, it feels more like a joke where you just turn and see the jury's all wolves, and you're like, oh, that's funny.
That's true.
I feel like that's the maybe I'm not giving this episode as much credit as I should, but
well, if it was better, if it was made better, if it was actually a good episode, you could probably like glean something like that, but yeah, it's not.
I feel like I want a stream shot now with Tim just saying, if it was made better. Tim Vergilish, 2019.
Don't put my face on it though, because then people will think that I should be better, and that simply cannot be.
They don't need a shirt for that, Tim.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I'm glad we agreed.
Yeah. I think we agree, but we're not on the same page.
We may not even be in the same book, Tim. So I don't even know what else I want to say about this episode. Like, I thought it was painfully boring. Like,
oh sure, yeah.
You know, I'm watching the episode and I'm having a hard time paying attention to it. I actually got up and started pacing around as I was watching it, just to sort of keep my mind active in some way, because it was just hard to sit and focus and not let my mind wander.
I was watching it at like 12:45 last night. I was like so angry because I just wanted to go to bed.
Yeah, because I was watching this literally right before we started recording, and I was like, okay, right, I'm supposed to record with Tim soon, I'll get this Tales knocked out. And I'm like, we could have started 25 minutes earlier, and I could have not watched this. That was an option.
Yeah, there's just really nothing here. I mean, the animation's bad, and I actually do think the idea of doing an animated episode sounds cool, because since it's a anthology format or whatever, you have room to be experimental and do stuff, and it would have been cool to take like a normal kind of Tales script but animate it, but instead this is just like a cartoon. It doesn't feel like Tales from the Crypt at all.
No.
And it's weird to like apply this kind of stuff in like a cartoon world, because it's like the pigs get murdered, but then also characters, it's still a cartoon, so characters are like also doing stuff that should kill them, but they don't. So it's weird that like the wolf can eat these pigs and kill them, but also the wolf gets eaten by a zombie pig but doesn't die. Like where's the rules and logic in this stupid cartoon world?
Yeah, it is full of it's got a lot of those old cartoon things where the eyes pop out in fear and things like that, and that's not actually a bad thing. It's just, again, it doesn't feel like Tales from the Crypt. It doesn't.
No, totally.
It feels like a different show. It feels like some random episode of some other show that just happens to have the Crypt Keeper talking over it, and it's got the Crypt Keeper introduction, and he's doing a thing where he's hiring a writer for a job, and he's making his puns as per usual, and
it just feels like, I mean, I don't know if they knew that this was the last episode, but I just feel like, last episode, do something special. At least have like, the opening and closing segments, like have the Crypt Keeper be like, well, that's it, goodbye, guys, or something.
I wonder if they didn't know. I wonder if it was just like they could have been renewed, they could have been cancelled, they didn't know.
Yeah, totally.
So, especially in the 90s, I don't think they. I feel like now there's a better understanding that people want endings to their shows, especially if they're going to repackage it and sell it to streaming services or use it as box sets or whatever. People want endings. So
they
respect that a bit more now.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Like, I was
gonna say, not that this needs an ending, it's an anthology show. Obviously this doesn't apply to this show, but
yeah, but it would be nice to, especially since you have the the through line of the Crypt Keeper, it'd be nice for him to acknowledge it or whatever. But yeah, I remember like watching like back in the day when they would do the True Hollywood Stories. I remember watching the one for Married with Children, and they said like when they got canceled, like no one told the cast, and they were just like like out to like lunch one day, and like some random person came up to him and was like, "Oh guys, sorry about the show." And they're like, "What?" Like it is weird that like no one will tell you that.
It's funny we're talking about this now. Did you see the controversy this week?
Oh, with the Constance Wu stuff?
Yeah. Her show was renewed, and she took to Twitter and Instagram to say how upset she was that her show was renewed.
You know what? I was actually talking to my friend about this the other day. I'm 100% on Wu's side. Like, I think people are giving her such crap, and it's like, what? You're not allowed to complain about your job? Like, I complain about my job all the time. Like, who cares? People are being too stupid.
like, I understand. I sympathize with how she feels because obviously Crazy Rich Asians was a big hit. She's getting a lot of offers for jobs. She's doing all these other things. She thought the show was maybe kind of on the bubble, and now it's been renewed. I get why she's maybe frustrated at that. But I think the problem is that it's unprofessional for a celebrity to go on social media and be like, "Oh, what? I'm crying right now. This I can't believe this got renewed."
No, I mean, I love that though. Like I don't know. I don't like the fake celebrity that everything has to be like, oh no, I love this project, and oh man, I was so excited to be in the Smurfs movie. It was my dream since I was a kid. Like, I don't know. I like when people
Tim,
can be real.
let me ask you this: how do you think that makes the rest of the cast of that show feel? They're all happy their jobs have been saved. They're all happy, and then the lead of the show. Well, I think she's the lead. I never watched the show. I have no idea.
Probably, I think maybe like co-lead with Randall Park's character. I think I've seen bits and pieces. I don't think I've seen much of it. But
I'm just imagining the cast and the crew of that show seeing these comments and going, "Well, yeah, she wants to be on set next time we're filming with her."
Sure. Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I feel bad for the casting crew. Sure, but I don't know. It's yeah, I'm still on our side though. Like I think at least let people be real if they want, and also like I saw like some people, like my friend brought up a good point where like it definitely does feel weird to see like like all this hate being put on like prominent like Asian female actor and stuff, whereas you have people like Harrison Ford, who, always complains about his characters, and no one says like, "Oh, shut up, Harrison Ford." Like we love Harrison Ford for being a grumpy old white dude. Like,
no, I think
there's a little bit of weirdness there.
I think it's a taboo to like badmouth the thing you're in while it's still happening, right? I think everyone kind of accepts that once the contract's expired and you're on your own, you can badmouth anything from the past, but you may get blackballed because you piss off people in the wrong place. So that's why you don't do a lot of it.
Yeah.
But, no,
it does.
Harrison Ford, kind of gets away with it because he's Harrison Ford, and I sympathize with her. I think I get where she's coming from. I think it's just maybe from a publicity standpoint, you don't go on social media and start being like,
oh, sure, yeah. If I was their publicist, I'd be having like a nightmare.
Oh yeah, hair would be getting pulled out, be screaming into the moon. Because it's because obviously she had to put this like apology kind of statement like, here, just to clarify what I meant when I said I was crying and I can't believe it.
Yeah. Oh no, definitely.
It's just a bit weird.
Well, certainly. I mean, hey, if I couldn't go on social media and complain how much I hate this podcast, I don't know what I would do.
There's different dynamic with us, Timmy. Different dynamic to actual show business. Different dynamic. Also, this show improves with you being miserable. Like the more miserable I can make you, the better this show becomes. So,
well, that's fair. I mean, works. That's funny. I thought I was trying to make you miserable, but I guess.
Well, that's the game. That's the game we're playing, and then one day one of us will win, and I don't know what happens when one of us wins, but one of us will.
Whoever wins, we lose. We all know that.
Oh dear. I guess that was the Tales from the Crypt finale.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. I mean, all right. So now we're done the series. Are we gonna do a wrap up episode or a favorites, worst moments episode or something like that, or are we just completely done?
I think a long time ago I said we'd do like a top 10 at the end.
Okay.
So if you're up for doing a top 10, we could do some sort of top 10.
Yeah, I'd be down for that. Yeah. I just don't know. Yeah, if we want to give our final thoughts on this episode, or maybe do a special episode. I don't know.
I mean, I think maybe we'll do a top 10. I'm not going to promise it. We'll have a talk about it off air and decide if
if I don't know if people can chime in if they want us to do some type of retrospective or something, or if they feel that there's still more to say.
I feel like, just to kind of wrap up my feelings on the show now that I've seen the whole thing, because when we started this, I had never seen a single episode, and now we've got to the end, I've seen the whole thing. I feel like it's got a lot of rep because people have fond memories from it, and it's got a good title, and there are good episodes. But I have to say that I think the bad episodes outweigh the good ones at this point. By the time you get to the end. Now, admittedly, if you cut off the last 3 seasons, if you say just seasons 1 through 4, and you say, how good is it? I would say, oh yeah, it's like for every good episode, there's a bad episode, but there's a lot of good ones that are worth checking out. When you add in seasons 5, 6, and 7, it's like,
I think you can easily lose. Yeah, those entire seasons.
I honestly, I feel like this is one of the few shows, and I guess it's an anthology show, where I would say, no, look up a list of the best episodes and just watch those, because
definitely.
There's no point in sitting through some of the crap that's in here. There really isn't.
Yeah, I think I'm in a similar boat. So I did grow up watching it, so I do have, like you said, fond memories of it. But again, so a lot of these I've seen for the first time. Because I didn't necessarily have HBO, so it was kind of a thing where I'd watch it sometimes. I think they'd rerun it on Fox, or I'd be over at someone's house that had HBO, so I'd see episodes here and there. And the good ones, the classic ones, still stick out in my mind, and I like those. And like you said, it has a good title. The Crypt Keeper is like, a good gag, so I always like seeing him, and so all that stuff I still have a fondness for. But yeah, I would never want to rewatch the whole series again. Like there's definitely episodes I'd want to rewatch and be like, oh yeah, I love this one or that one. But
if I was to hazard a guess, I'd say there's like 30 like good episodes that everyone should maybe watch. I mean, if you're into this type of stuff, I'd say
right.
You could probably do like a 30 episode season, just cutting out all the bad episodes and saying this is the 20-30 episodes that are worth watching.
That's fair.
And a lot of the rest of it sucks.
Unfortunately.
It's been a rough past couple of seasons. We used to be really good at keeping this one a week, and we had them going up one a week for a long time. You'll notice that once we got to around season 6, that started to like drift off quite considerably, and it's been kind of hit and miss, and we've been getting them in here or there when it's convenient, rather than keeping a schedule every week. And part of that is that when it came down to do we fit in a Tales or a movie, we'd always pick the movie, because the movie always seemed more important.
Sure, yeah.
So there you go. That is the Tales from the Crypt finale. By all means, let us know what you thought of the episode, and indeed the show as a whole now in the comments, if you wish. You can like and subscribe, all that stuff. Get us on the Twitters at mail_fuzz for channel updates. If you want to support the show and the channel, you can over to patreon.com/mailfuzztv, where you can support us for as little as $1 per month, and you get some stuff early. There's not going to be any more now, but you did get these Tales from the Crypt episodes early. You get a bonus episode once a month.
We'll probably do another show at some point. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to do any old shows. I think there's some new shows that we'll do like seasons of when they came out, because they're like, I'm not going to do the Child's Play TV show with Connor. Like, that'll be us.
Yeah,
we did all the Chucky movies, so. Now, so we do. Obviously, the main thing we do is the Screams After Midnight, the regular podcast, which is the horror movie podcast, where we talk about horror movie every week. And if you go to Patreon and donate $1 per month, you get a bonus episode of that every month, as well as some other benefits and stuff. So go have a look see, and yeah, that's pretty much us. Guys on Twitter, of course, at Screams Midnight for shenanigans. But otherwise, that is us. So thank you once again for watching or listening. We always appreciate it. Keep watching scary TV. So for the final time on Tales from the Crypt, goodbye.